Alright guys, so this is other review for the retake before you retake quiz 2 if you want to. Last Friday was supposed to be the retake, but there was no school. There was no assessment day. So since today is the last day for assessments, I am giving you the opportunity to do the retake for quiz 2. So before you do it though, you got to watch this video, go over the answers for version A, and then try, think about it, reflect on your work from the first time you took the quiz, and then go ahead and take the quiz again. Because it's not the same exact questions, as different numbers, different options. Okay. So question 1 says, what is the absolute value of 2? Just remember, this is the symbol for absolute value. So it would be the absolute value of 2. Absolute value means distance from 0. So basically it's asking how far away is 2 from 0. So it's 2 spaces. So the absolute value of 2 is just 2, right? Distance from 0. The absolute value of a number is always positive because absolute value is distance, and distance is always positive when you're talking about like on the ground. Next question, select all of the numbers greater than the absolute value of -7. So first, you need to know that the absolute value of -7 is the same thing as 7, right? Because this means how many spaces is -7 from 0? -7 is 7 spaces. This is a total of 7 units. So the absolute value of -7 is 7. So you're like, okay, so basically you're saying what are all the numbers that are greater than 7, right? So all of the numbers that are greater than 7, now, nope, not that one, yes. -6, no. 4, no. -11, no. 12, yes. So these are the two numbers that are greater than 7. Problem 3. A restaurant is selling meals that cost at most $11. Which inequality correctly represents the scenario? At most. So that means that it cannot be more than 11. So at most 11, but it can include 11. So M, the meal, has to be less than or equal to 11, because it could be 11, but then it also has to be, it could be less than 11 because it's at most 11. So the inequality that represents this would be C, less than or equal to 11, right? It's not just less than, because if it was less than, that means it doesn't include the 11. It's not greater than, because if it could be at most 11, you can't go past that number. So you definitely need to make sure that you review those inequality symbols. Question number 4, the graph of an inequality that was drawn on a number line has an open circle at 6 and an arrow going to the left. Which inequality correctly represents the graph? So on a number line, on 6, you have an open circle and it's going to the left. So remember that will be less than. So it's all the numbers that are less than 6. So x is less than 6. Since it's an open circle, it cannot have the equal part underneath. So x is less than 6. That would be the symbol. Notice how as I was reading the question, I was annotating. So like, okay, open circle at 6, it going to the left. And then that helped me draw my number line very quickly. These are skills that you need to start building as you become better problem solvers. Question number 5, select all of the statements that are true. Okay, so we're comparing inequalities. So is 6 less than 9? Yeah, that's true. Is 6 greater than the absolute value of -9? Well, first you have to take the absolute value of -9. So it's asking, is 6 greater than +9? Because the absolute value of -9 is just 9. That's not true. Is 8 greater than 4? Yes, that's true. Is 8 greater than the absolute value of 4? Well, the absolute value of 4 is just 4. So yes, that's true. Is -12 less than 10? That's just regular integers. Yes, -12 is less than 10 because the negative numbers are smaller than positive numbers. Now, is the absolute value of -12 less than 10? Well, the absolute value of -12 is just 12. Is 12 less than 10? No, positive 12 is more than 10, so that's false. So those 4 were your options. You could have drawn number lines too if you needed to compare them, like, all right, so if this 0 and then this is 10 and 12 over here, right, for each one to help you see them a little bit better. The last one, number 6, select the statement that correctly explains if the inequality, the absolute value of -4 is less than true is true or false. Well, first, again, the absolute value of -4 is just 4. So 4 is less than 2. That's what you're thinking about. So then let's just say if this statement is true or false. Well, by looking at this, you already know that it's false because 4 is not less than 2. So you can eliminate the one that says true, right? Process of elimination is a good strategy. You can eliminate those. So now you're just looking through 2 of these and making sense of them. So false because the absolute value of -4 is 4 and 4 is not less than 2. This makes a lot of sense, but let's read the other one just to make sure. False because 4 is bigger than 2. Well, yeah, 4 is bigger than 2, so how is that false? So this one is kind of like, doesn't make any sense, right? So then this one. False because the absolute value of -4 is 4, so they explained that thoroughly, and then 4 is not less than 2. So watch this video again if you need to, just to make more sense. You can watch it 2 or 3 times, but before you do the retake. I actually am gonna link this also before you do the actual final exam. It's this one and then the video from the review from the first quiz. It's just a good idea, you know, to refresh your memory right before you go on to the final. This way of taking a file is unique. You know, distance learning has given you an opportunity to save all of your work and be able to store it in one place and go back and look at videos. Versus when you're in regular classrooms, you know, I teach the lesson and that's it. If you didn't write it down, you didn't write it down. But this way, it's in a video. It's recorded, so you can go back and watch them over and over again. Sometimes I don't get things the first time around or the second or the third, and I have to try a few times, right? So when we're learning something new, we have to try a few times, and that's okay. So once again, it was a pleasure working with you guys this quarter. I wish you guys all the best of luck next year as a 7th grader, and I hope you guys have a really restful summer. Take care, stay healthy, and happy learning for this last couple of a video and assessment.